What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the analyst, and today it's Brooklyn versus the greatest World Cup team ever assembled. Let's get it.
Go Bridgeside!
What's up, people? It's your boy, the analyst, a.k.a. the closer, bringing you another edition of Brooklyn versus with my crew, Mike Boo, coming back from vacay, and you got Big D, Donnie Borst. What's good with you?
Like a wrestler.
Here we go, baby. Today, we're talking World Cup. The World Cup just ended, and you got a France team that just won, like I predicted, in pretty good fashion. And I personally think they're one of the best World Cup teams we've ever seen, maybe the best. But we're going to talk about it, and that's what we're talking about today. Is France the best World Cup team you've ever seen? That's the first question I'm going to ask both of you guys. And let's start with you, Boo.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
It's a good team, and it's a really young team, and there's a good chance that we might be saying they are 4 years from now. I think that they definitely deserve to win. The only other team that I thought really played extremely well throughout the whole tournament is Belgium.
Yeah.
I mean, England played well, but they snuck out a few wins. Belgium really was an excellent team during this World Cup. So France was a little bit better, and they showed it. They played head-to-head. They won that game 1-0.
Shut them out.
Yeah, but I don't think that they're the best team. No.
Who is?
If I were to say in recent years, are we talking recent years?
Yeah, I don't want to go back to like the 1930s and 40s and let's go back to like the 70 when Pele was around. I think that's when you first got us started with the greatest player ever, Pele.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I'm going to say the best World Cup team I've ever seen in the time that I've watched the World Cup is 2002 Brazil. All right, I think that they dominated teams. I think they had scoring throughout the tournament. Ronaldo scored 8 goals.
Right.
In the tournament.
I believe that's maybe Klose might have had more.
I'm not sure, but he dominated. He did what he had to do. They had a young Ronaldinho on that team who chipped in with some goals and some assists.
Right.
And Rivaldo. Remember Rivaldo? They had a killer offensive team, as you would expect from Brazil.
Yeah.
Sure.
And all the stars
Kaká.
just they went after it from the very beginning, and they played a great tournament.
Excellent. I went into the history books a little bit more, courtesy of our friends at Bleacher Report. I looked up the greatest World Cup teams ever.
Yeah.
Who shows up at the top of the list?
Pele's team.
Of course. The 1970, well, he had a couple of World Cup teams, but the tip top was the 1970 team, right? They went through their group stage 3-0, 8 goals for, 3 against.
Okay.
So, I mean, they were a solid team.
Offensive team.
Of course, and then they won with ease every knockout stage game into the finals. I'm talking 3 goals, 4 goals, 4 goals, 4
Right.
goals. I mean,
Like 3 or 4 goals every game.
Impressive, yeah.
It's a little unfair though, because we're talking about a different era when there's less. There's a bigger gap between the really good teams and obviously as you go back further and further, it gets more and more of a gap. But when you talk about no,
I think so, yeah.
Definitely. 2002, you have more countries that are able to field a very competitive team.
Right.
Well, that's
so
what they could.
I'm more impressed with Brazil, who actually they had like a plus 14 goal differential. They dominated that tournament. So I'm more impressed with that dominance over a 1970 dominance.
I don't know about that. I mean, because we could talk about the watered down effect also, with you have more teams, but you have more teams that are just
watered down.
So.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there's different directions that you could go with.
There
that.
is both sides on that story,
So,
but it is true that countries now, there's like countries that were nothing back then are now much stronger. You know, USA is much stronger, in the 90s and to early 2000s than they ever were before that. Netherlands got stronger and stronger. Croatia. I mean, at one point it was just the Soviet Union and Yugoslavia. They broke up into a bunch of different nations, and Croatia actually came out as one of the strongest. You got teams like that.
Germany,
So,
one of the strongest nations
West
in the world.
Germany,
Had 2 teams, though. Let's remember that.
Right, they had West
both
Germany.
pretty good, actually.
Is this France team the best World Cup team ever?
I think they are. I think they're I think they're at least top 3, at the very least, because to me the top 3 are the Spain of 2010. That team only gave up 2 goals in the group stage. They had a rough group stage. They lost to Switzerland. That was their only loss, but they won every single knockout game 1-0. They played some really good teams.
Right.
So they were a possession-based team, though. They weren't a high-scoring team like that.
Right.
They had some great players. Sergio Busquets, David Villa, like incredible team. But then you got this team, and you got also France 98 was a great team.
Okay.
They were shutting people out left and right. I got to mention Italy in 2006 because they only gave up 2 goals the whole World Cup. They gave one up against USA in the group stage, and it was an own goal. and they gave one up in the final. That was the next goal they gave up,
Right.
and it was a penalty kick.
Okay.
So they didn't even give up a regulation goal that whole tournament. But that's the best defensive team ever. If you're talking about a complete team, I think Spain, this France team, and I would say maybe Brazil 2002. Brazil 2002 team was absolutely stacked. Kaká, like you said, that team was absolutely stacked. But France has done something similar. I mean, they beat Argentina 4-3. This team was scoring 3 goals at will within 10, 15 minutes.
Well, listen,
Yeah,
dude, you're talking about a team. First of all, they had a draw in the group stage, right? They gave up a goal to Australia. They didn't even have that strong of a group.
They had a slow start.
Right? They played. I think it was Australia, Peru,
Denmark.
and Denmark. Denmark, they had a draw. Right?
They didn't need to win that game.
The other teams, they won by 1. They weren't super impressive. Argentina, they played a little sloppy. This Croatia game, they played a little sloppy. They're super talented, but I don't think that they played
Their top,
like the best team.
right. They had
In
sloppiness.
history.
I would say that the path it could have been better.
Well, look at the Brazil path to 2002. They played Turkey twice, once in the group stage and the knockouts. They played England, which was a good team, and they played Belgium, who wasn't the Belgium team it is now. The only really, really good team they played was Germany in the final.
Right.
And it wasn't like Brazil was dominating all those games. Some of those games were 2-1, 1-0, 2-0. Like, they were close games.
Sure.
So I know France didn't dominate all these games, but they scored 4 goals against Argentina. They shut out Belgium. Belgium, a team that was scoring 5 goals on some teams. It won 5-2 one game.
That was the most impressive game.
That was very impressive. They shut out Uruguay like it was nothing, 2-0.
Okay.
Like, just beat them up.
Right.
Like, they played great defense at times, but they got sloppy, yes, but that's the impressive part. This isn't even the golden generation of this team. The next World Cup is going to be the golden
I agree with
generation.
you 100%.
And it's funny that you say that. Fun fact. So Mbappe was the best young player in the tournament, correct?
Oh, yeah.
He might have been the best
Best
player
player
in the tournament.
Well, correct.
Yeah.
Trivia for you: who was the best young player in the last World Cup?
It was,
I looked this one
Pogba.
up. It was Pogba. Same
Who,
club.
by the way, I think,
Pogba.
I mean, he played a
Played
fantastic
amazing.
tournament.
Amazing, yeah.
I mean, he was playing defense. Like, he gets a lot
He
of
does
flack.
everything.
He
Yeah.
played fantastic.
That just speaks to the length of which this franchise is actually going with this France national team.
Right.
And it seems like they have legs, they have length.
And they have a fantastic goaltender, too. Although he made a
Yeah, huge mistake.
huge mistake.
Brain,
That was
meltdown there,
horrible.
quick. But I'm saying, like, that's what I mean. I think the talent is just I say it's the most talented team I've ever seen.
Okay.
Because, like, the talent was ridiculous. And they made mistakes just because they're young, but there were some older veterans who held things together. Olivier Giroud played fantastic, and people won't say he will because he didn't score a goal, but he did so mmany things well. He was an engine. The guy N'Golo Kante, who's like a midfield, defensive genius, and he was playing fantastic. Like, these things get overlooked, but that's the thing about it. In 4 years, we might be talking about the best team ever.
Sure.
This same team mixed in with maybe a couple of other players here and there on the bench or whatever.
But that's what
it
makes
should be the same team.
That's what makes the World Cup so amazing, because it's 4 years from now. So there's so many things that can happen in 4 years. You can't really look forward to 4 years from now, because this team, you don't know who will be on the team. You don't know if these guys pan out. Mbappe looks like he's going to be a superstar, but we don't know what 4 years holds for him. We really don't.
No, he's a superstar.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but club games can weather a guy like that also.
Well,
You
there's
gotta give him a
injuries.
star. Yeah, exactly.
You get injured at the wrong time, things like that. But as a complete team, them and Spain, to me, are the 2010 Spain team. Because that 2010 Spain team also won the 2008 Euro and the 2012 Euro.
And
they won 3 major tournaments.
Right.
And while I think that Germany will always be a force to be reckoned with, they're older, they got to get younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could see the World Cup hangover thing is a true thing. Like, you don't want to keep the same team that you had if it was, especially in the older side. Like Belgium, 4 years from now, all those guys are going to be in their late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
So that generation's gone, which is sad to say. But
Yeah, well, this was the year to do it. I mean, that's what you have to do. It's every 4 years.
It was their chance. And that's why I think
It's a tightrope.
France it could be one of the greatest ever. They played some really good teams. They had a tough road. Argentina, Belgium. I mean, they had Uruguay. Great, prolific teams that have World Cup wins in the past. So, I mean, to me, they're up there. Top 2, top 3.
Okay.
You guys say no.
Not yet. No, not this one. I don't think so.
I just like the dominance of that franchise that had Pele in the early to mid 70s. I don't know. I just feel like looking back, you watch some game film, you see the stats.
I know.
They're just so powerful offensively.
Well,
and that by the way, as you know me, that's my type of soccer. That's what I like to see, though. That's why.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, but I just don't know the players too well back then.
Right.
Maybe Pele carried him, kind of like
No, it was
Ronaldo
actually-
carrying a Portugal.
It was a dominant front four, though. That's what it was. All the guys scored goals.
Well,
So
that's
they
the
had
thing
some-
about the
yeah.
2002 Brazil team, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm going to pick them. just because there were times where France played, they're a well-deserving champion. They definitely deserve to win
Oh,
it.
without a doubt.
But at the same time, a little sloppy at times. Not the best I've ever seen.
Right, there was sloppiness, 100%. But nobody's perfect, I guess.
Sure.
That's my opinion.
It's like
I mean, you're going to give up goals.
It's like a Mr. Rogers ending to the Brooklyn versus.
Nobody's perfect. Well, that's it for Brooklyn Verse. Catch us next time, and we out.
Go Bridgeside.
I was going to throw in that honorable mention, West Germany, though, that year with the 4-match
You
win.
did throw them in.
No, I didn't.
So West Germany.
No, we talked about them in terms of like, hey, they